Hi guys, today on the Cowbridge Kitchen we are going to be making a classic British dish, the classic cottage pie. For the cottage pie we're going to want a number of ingredients. First of all, we're going to want some one white onion, and we're going to want that diced up. We're going to want 2 carrots, and we're also going to want some peas. So on top of our vegetables that we've just cut up, we're going to make about 200 ml of beef stock. And what I'm going to use for this, I'm going to use 1 beef stock cube. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of veg bouillon, and I'm going to use just half a teaspoon of chili powder, and we're going to make 200 ml of beef stock. So there we are. Let's grind the beef oxo up, get that all into a bit of a powder into our jug. Okay, 1 teaspoon now, not a big teaspoon, just a small teaspoon of veg stock into there. And with the chili powder, I'm just going to put half a teaspoon, okay? Half a teaspoon of chili powder in there. Nothing much, just to give it a little bit of excitement to the cottage pie. And what we're going to do with this now, we're going to get ourselves 200 ml of water. Get that in there. And mix that in with a fork. Some lovely beef stock. So over at the stove, what we've got now is a pan of water, and we've got some our peas and our carrots that we made up earlier. Okay, these are going to go into the pan now, and we're going to get them onto the boil. And then carrots in on top. Alright, let's get the heat on there. Get that boiling up. I leave that to cook, just so they're cooked, so they're al dente, so they're just cooked. Okay. So while those veggies are cooking, I've got 300 grams of lean minced beef here, and along with that minced beef, we've got our onions that we prepped earlier. These two now we're going to get fried off separately. So into a large deep frying pan here, you want to put a generous amount of butter, okay? So quite a nice large chunk of butter. It's probably about, I don't know, there's probably about 20 grams there. That's probably about 30 grams. So about 30 grams of butter. We get the heat on that, get it nice and hot. So there we are, our butter's nicely melted, and what we're going to do now is get our onions in there and get them fried off in that butter. Lovely. Leave them now to cook for a few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, our onions have been cooking now for about 3 or 4 minutes. They're nice and soft. So what we're going to add to the onions now is we're going to add a teaspoon of flour into these. 1 teaspoon of flour into there. We're going to get that mixed in now into our butter and onions. Now into our onions, butter and flour mix, what we're going to do is the stock that we made earlier, we're going to pour that into this and mix that up into a nice thick gravy. And get the heat on that, and as you'll see, as that warms up now, that's just going to thicken and thicken. There we are. So what we want to do at this stage is add our beef. So we'll take our beef here, and we're just going to break him up and get him all into that gravy. Get that all mixed in now with a spoon. Just mix that meat now. Just spend a few minutes now just to chop that into the gravy mix. So that's all mixed in. Pop the heat up a little tiny bit just to keep it cooking. What we're going to do then, cover it with a plate. So our veggies are been boiling for about 20 minutes now, and they are cooked, drained and contained. There we are. So if we just take a little look, this has been cooking now for about 5 or 10 minutes. This mince and these onions and the gravy, all lovely and cooked. So what we're going to do is take this off the heat and set it aside to cool down. Okay, so at this stage we can see our mince is cooked, our veg is cooked. All we need to do now, make some mashed potato. To bear in mind now when we're constructing this cottage pie, or any kind of pie that's got mashed potato as topping, is that you've got to give it a bit of care and attention. Okay, it's really important that you've let the mincemeat cool down in the fridge, and your mashed potato doesn't need to be cold, it needs to be pliable, it needs to be warm. Okay, so we've got our minced beef, onion and veg mix filling here, and our mashed potato here. The minced beef mix is cold, the mashed potato is room temperature. And what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves an oven-proof dish. So it'll be quite a generous oven-proof dish, okay? And we're going to, don't overdo this. Another thing that people do quite often is they overfill it. They get a little bit overexcited and they stick way too much filling in there. What we want, I mean, to be fair, this dish is probably going to use most of this filling, but you probably want a 60-40 mix. Okay, so you probably want 40% of the meat and the rest of it mashed potato, okay? Because the last thing you really want with this is all your meat oozing out of the top of your mashed potato. Okay, so there we are. We've got, I used about just over 2/3 probably of that mix. We've got a little bit of mix left there. So if I wanted to, I could always make another small cottage pie out of that, okay? And then what we're going to do with this now, with our mashed potato, it's quite pliable. So I'm going to get ourselves a fork, and we're just going to pop our mash all over the top and just mess it around with a fork so it makes it look a little bit rustic, a little bit crazy. There we are. I'm going to get all of that mash on there. So we want a nice thick covering of mash on here to the top of the pie dish. So again, probably I'm going to use all of this mash, I would imagine. Yeah. And because your mincemeat was cold, it's going to stop it from oozing up all over the place whilst you're applying your mash. There we are. So we can make a nice little pattern on there with our mashed potato. And because this mash has got lots of butter in it, this is going to go nice and brown when it's in the oven. So what we'll do, we will put our pie now onto an oven tray, and we'll get that into a preheated oven. And there we are, pop that onto there. Our oven is at about 180 to 200, anywhere between 180 and 200. This is going to take about 30 to 40 minutes in that oven. There we are, right into the centre of the oven. I'm going to leave that in there now for, I'm going to look at it at 30 minutes, probably going to take about 40 minutes. And I got a good feeling about this one, it's going to taste pretty decent. So our cottage pie has been cooking for just a little over 35 minutes now. It's looking pretty well done. So we'll just whip this out of the oven, get him up on that board, and let's take a little look. Wow, one beautiful cottage pie. Take a look, people. Not too much overspill there on the edges. Nice fluffy golden brown top on the mashed potato. And it smells fantastic.